Good evening, YouTube. DutyRon checking back in on a Friday evening with another new live video. And tonight we're going to talk about the Long Island serial killer, the 10-year anniversary, Christopher Watts and Suzanne Morphew, the missing persons case out of Colorado. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is DutyRon, retired New York City police detective with 20 plus years in law enforcement. And I'm happy to bring a special guest on. I'll introduce him in a few minutes. It is my extreme honor to have this guest. We're going to speak about all things homicide related, all things investigation related, and we're going to get into it in a few minutes. Again, my name is DutyRon. Please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you will get all things DutyRon when I go live and when I upload a video. Guys, thank you so much to my Patreon supporters, my channel members, the people who support me by subscribing, sharing, liking, and leaving messages. You guys are invaluable to this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. Please consider also following me on Discord and in my Facebook groups. There's some chock full of information on the Facebook groups. I have a police and crime chat group, and I also have a DutyRon YouTube video share group. For those of you who are content creators or love great content creators that I share, I encourage you to go and check out those Facebook groups. Our Streamlabs bot will put that in the chat. Hello, Dookie4000. Hello, Beth Higgs from over in Illinois. Great to see you. Thom Ryan. Thank you, Vicky Dodd, channel member. Doc Sexy is in the building. Joey Brooklyn, the director of security, is here. Nancy Eileen, Meg Lowe from Southern California. Faloma, English Empath. Hello, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Hello, Mrs. Babe. Lisa Kleckner. Carol, loving Alaska. You made it. Carol, good to see you. Thanks. 12-Step Mom. 12-Step Woman, good to see you. 12-Step Mom, good to see you. Betty Barclay. Holy sweet mother of Jesus. Everybody is in the building. Good to see you. I just said a curse word, so thank you to my bleep machine. Guys, again, tonight and today is the 10-year anniversary of the Long Island serial killer, also known as LISK. That's the acronym. The Gilgo Killer, the Gilgo Beach Killer, Seashore Killer, Serial Killer, Craigslist Killer, Craigslist Ripper. These either single perpetrator or multiple perpetrators preyed on prostitutes, women, ladies of the night, and bodies were just popping up all over the place. So in New York, we have the 10-year anniversary. I did a live last night. If you haven't seen it, please go over and check out that live from last night. It was a chock full of information. I shared so much valuable information with you guys from various outlets. And I encourage you to go over there and check that out. But I want to just bring in really quick tonight because we have limited time with Bill. He's a great friend of mine from the police department. We're brothers in blue. We don't have to necessarily know each other personally, but there's that police bond that can never be broken. And the brotherhood is strong in the NYPD and throughout the country, throughout America, no matter what. If you're a brother in blue, you know you can count on a fellow law enforcement. Bill Cannon's a retired 27-year sergeant from the Manhattan North Homicide Squad. That's where he retired out of, I believe. 16 years in the Bureau. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. Professor of criminal justice, actor, and comedian. He has a YouTube channel and podcast. It's called Police Off the Cuff. And he does real crime stories. I want to introduce to you a great police officer, great detective, great sergeant, Bill Cannon. Thank you so much for being in here. Bill, welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining.
Thanks, Ron. It's really a pleasure to be here and to talk about this case, which is actually an amazing case, which has generated probably international interest.
Yes, this case has stirred up so many conspiracy theories, as you know. There's so many people who have their thoughts and opinions, and we respect them all, right? With our with our experience in law enforcement, we come in contact with so many different people, right? People would tell us, hey, you're looking at the wrong person. Hey, I think this one. And that's sort of like the public and police interaction that we really rely on to solve these cases. And that's pretty much what Geraldine Hart is, the police commissioner of Suffolk County Police. They're pleading with the public to come forward. And I mean, if you want to talk a little bit about that, how important was that in your Manhattan North Homicide Command? How important was that for your investigators, relying on the public for tips and direction?
Well, that's immensely important because even in the advent of cell phones, so many times detectives would get tips from the street calling directly to their cell phone. And that helped the solvability of cases immensely. But look, there's millions of people out there. Why not use the public as a source for investigators? Because chances are, like a new piece of information is that they just released that belt.
Yeah.
Uh, they probably should have released it a lot earlier than this. And if there's any criticism, they should have probably released it earlier. But is there a potential? Did that belt potentially have DNA on it? I think when Geraldine Hart was asked that question, she didn't answer it. So
she kind of stuttered a little bit.
Potentially, yeah, there could be DNA on it. But how about someone of the millions of people out there recognizes that belt, or the manufacturer of that belt, or the person who wore that belt?
Yeah.
And the only way you're going to find that out is to release that information to the media. And the media is so powerful.
Oh yeah.
In alerting people and getting so many people apprised of what's going on.
It's the power of the reach, Bill. And I think those are the words that you were looking for there. The media has the power of the reach, right? People turn on their TVs, people are in bars,
Absolutely.
hanging out. Of course, in the wake of COVID-19, there's not many people hanging out in bars, but back in the good old days, you had the barflies, the people who knew about everything that went on in the neighborhoods, the people who are the town crier people. These are what you need. These are what our investigators, our police officers throughout the country, our detectives, our investigators. Kathy Drew, thank you for becoming a DutyRon channel member. God bless you. Thank you for hitting that membership bell. We rely on the public immensely, more than what the public realizes. And I say this all the time, and I've actually heard you say it. When cases go cold, we have New York City Police Department, the greatest police department in the nation, arguably the greatest police department in the world. We get cold cases. We have a cold case squad, right? And when you have high-profile cases where you have a chief on your back saying, hey, Bill, we need to get this case solved. You got to get out there. Like you said, boots on the ground, gumshoes are out there, pounding the pavement. And I remember when Resnick was the boss, he was in charge of Fugitive. When he came in and he was like, hey, I want to see your caseload. It was like you were frightened to come down there and show him the caseload because you knew he was going to pick it apart and say, well, in warrants, we didn't have the DD5s, but he'd say your ADW and you're missing this and you're missing that. It's all about getting out there and talking to people. And this is where I feel some misconceptions come in with general public, with the people who are true crime enthusiasts. They feel that we should expose our cards to everybody immediately, like gimme, I want you, Bill, and for those of you who are asking questions, this is Bill Cannon. He's a retired sergeant, NYPD sergeant. He did 27 years in the NYPD. He was correct me if I'm wrong, commanding officer or squad commander of the Manhattan North Homicide Squad at one point. And he was 16 years in the Bureau.
I actually just had the A team. I had a team of 6 detectives. There was totally 18 detectives in the squad, but I had
he supervised the squad. Yeah. He wasn't the CO. Thank you for that correction. Right. But Bill was in charge of the A team, and the A team is no joke. Those are the guys that pick up the heavier cases, right? Bill, correct me if I'm wrong.
Absolutely. Yep.
So his team.
So one of the things Ron, you were talking about, if I may, I'm sorry to interrupt you, is that the need to keep certain things close to the vest. And why do the police do that? Because first of all, they get a lot of tips, right? And there's a lot of crackpots that call in tips. So if someone's calling in a tip and saying, I did it and I know this and I know that, and you start asking them a few questions and they give you information that's totally off the wall, you say, thank you very much for your information,
Right.
have a nice day. The other reason, a big reason, is that when you do get the perpetrator, you know things that he only knows. So you'll know when you have the right guy, and you need that in an interview and an interrogation to challenge that person, to challenge them when they start lying to you, as every defendant does.
Right.
So that's why they want to keep certain things close to the vest that only the police know.
Yeah, as to not tip off somebody who is you're close to making a collar on, and you don't want to tip them off to what you have, so they can maybe correct it or clean it up or anything, all of the above, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think that's an important thing that I try to pound home to a lot of my viewers, a lot of my subscribers, and it's not necessarily something that the public wants to hear, but they don't understand the nature